This is another Disney podcast production.
All right, everybody, what is going on? Welcome to episode number 43 of Another Disney Podcast. This is for the week of, I think it's November the 19th. I'm very lost. I don't even know what day it is. We're recording on a day that we don't usually record on, so I'm all scattered. But I think it's episode 43 for November the 19th. I kind of like this no intro thing. I kind of like diving right into the shenanigans, if you will. That was an intro. That's great.
I mean, it's got to be, right? That was an intro.
Yeah.
You were like
some sort of intro, yes.
You were like, welcome to our stupid show. That's not at all what you did. I always take it and like ruin it. It's always like professional. I'm all like, meh. Idiot. The software that we use to record this, because obviously Brandon is 800 miles away at the happiest place on earth, we found out it has some cool built-in sound effects. So we were already recording this, and I hit the button and nothing happened. Well, I kept hitting the button, and then I was like, we should play this back and see. And sure enough, there's a giant air horn going. We had no idea. So I have a question for you. What is the point of this software and allowing that if we don't know it's happening?
That seems completely.
I mean, I'm super excited for the listeners, but it's like you hit the button, and you're like, I guess it worked.
I guess it happened. It's like we're making a Marvel movie, and we have to work with CGI.
Exactly.
We just got to pretend it's there.
We should have somebody in the background in this is nothing but a green screen suit and like, look at that guy. Okay, perfect. See, like our typical ones, when they, whenever we say the word iridescent, like that just comes through and we hear it. Like we know it's happening.
Yeah.
But the air horn would be fun for certain times. Okay, enough of the nonsense. Hey, we had a super cool thing happen this week. So we are going to give a shout out to Joy L and her family from Wisconsin who texted us this week.
Yeah, Joy L.
And am I allowed to brag on us a little bit? Because it was a really great text.
Brag. I mean, one person likes our show. So yes, that's great.
All right, here we go. Yeah, one person. So Joy L says, love your podcast. You guys are awesome. I've been going to Disney since March of 1972, and she's only 29 years old. Crazy. Since then, I've gone every year or two with my parents, husband, children, and now grandkids. Have so many stories to tell you and would love to meet you. And she's coming in January and staying on property. And she says, thanks for all of your info and updates. Love, love, love to listen to you both. Makes my day. Joy. She already knows this, but she has stickers and a pin coming her way. Thanks for giving us a message. You're why we do this, Joy. Just going to be honest.
Exactly.
The rest of you don't care.
You are the reason.
You're the
reason for the season of.
The rest of you don't matter. We don't care. But Joy, she sent us a message.
You'll only matter if you send us a text message or an email.
That's right. Okay.
That's right.
I said I had a good idea last week, and thankfully Brandon agreed and found a way to make it great. So at the end of last episode, I said, hey, I have an idea for a show. I'll talk to you after this. And so I talked about it. Brandon was like, yeah, let's do it. Thankfully, he texted during the week and actually came up with a plan versus an idea.
I mean, sometimes we got to figure out how to execute. Yeah. We're really good idea people.
That's right.
But
big sky.
Sometimes we got to figure out how to execute that idea. So I came up with that this time.
Got to drill down.
Yeah. we had a lot of fun last week.
Yeah.
Kind of talking about the things that you have been doing wrong when you go to Walt Disney World. So we kind of wanted to keep that train rolling.
That's right.
We wanted to move to a specific park this time.
Yeah.
And we are going to take you on a tour of the World Showcase at Epcot at Walt Disney World.
Yes.
What we're going to do is we're just going to go around. We're going to tell kind of our favorite things in each country, give you some ideas of what to do next time you're there. So we thought that'd be kind of fun.
Okay, so you did come up with a cool way to do it. I immediately ruined your plan because of how little. You would think Epcot is like, World Showcase is really known for their food. So you would think that I would have experienced more food there, but unfortunately our family is so gung-ho. We spent a lot of time at the Electric Umbrella, which says a lot about our connoisseur of great food.
I don't know what you've done because it's been closed for
that's right.
a year and a half. So
since there's always
your horizons.
Since there's always festivals at the festivals park, the little pop-up ones are typically what I've been grabbing, or we just go to the beer thing, the beer garden in where they're doing. What is it? What is that thing called? I never know what that building is called. I can never remember. Right now, it's showing the Epcot. What is it?
Oh, what is that thing
It's showing
called?
the Epcot movie right now.
It's showing like the Epcot Forever or the. Yep.
No, that's been canceled.
It's called.
Yes, we're great. Hey, join us for all of your Disney facts.
Good thing we did some research before we started this show.
It's that room that's showing what the future of Epcot looks like. Sometimes it has food in there during the festivals. The last time I was there, it had like all types of beer for whatever festival. So I offered to we were waiting for, what were we waiting for? The new show. I always call it Horizons, but it's Harmonious.
Yes.
And I said, hey man, do you want a flight? And he said, no. I almost passed out. I couldn't believe it. You must have been full.
It is true.
Anyway,
I was full.
So basically at the end of last episode, I said, hey Brandon, what if we go around World Showcase and talk about our favorite things, like what that's in each country? And thankfully, like I said, Brandon said, hey, how about if we pick like something to do there?
I think I said something to eat or drink, and then something to do in each country.
There it is.
Kind of our favorite things.
Yes. And as it turns out, there's a lot to do. So let's jump in.
There's a heck of a lot to do.
It's even better than Hanukkah because there's 11 great countries and there's only 8 crazy nights in Hanukkah. So we better jump in. And if we only make it halfway, we'll just have a part 2 next week.
Exactly.
Joy, this is for you. Joy didn't ask for this, but we're just dedicating the whole podcast to her.
This whole podcast is for Joy
That's
L.
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
from
indeed.
Wisconsin.
So from Wisconsin. So we're going to do what any seasoned Disney veteran does.
Oh, yes.
We're going to enter the World Showcase and we're going to take a left.
Yeah.
Don't go right, people. That's where the tourists go. Yeah. Please do not go right. Go left. And we're going to start in the Mexico Pavilion.
There we go.
I love the Mexico Pavilion.
I do too.
The Mexico Pavilion is one of my favorite pavilions in the whole World Showcase.
It's a city within a city.
It is a city within a city. So, Dave, what is your favorite thing to do with the Epcot Mexico Pavilion?
Man, I don't want to steal yours because I'm assuming it's the attraction that's there. So I'm going to say, oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I can't pick 2, so I'm not going to say the attraction. I love when you walk in, right, and they have the Day of the Dead stuff, and there's some Coco stuff in there, which is cool because there used to be kind of not great. There used to be like some legit like Aztecan art, I feel like, or pieces and stuff. So I like that they've Disneyfied it. But my favorite part is when you get past that little room and you walk up to like, I call it the double staircase, but there's no stairs because it's, I guess it's the double ramp. Just when you look in there, you literally feel like you've entered into this like, shopping, like it feels like you're there. It's one of the best themed places that really makes you feel like, holy crap, I just walked into like a local market in Mexico. That's what it feels like. And so to me, it's just that eye line of when you walk in there, go across, you go to the top of the double staircase that goes down and the fountain's right there. You look across at all the market, which has all the stuff to sell. And then of course, all the way across through the restaurant. And then you see the volcano in the background and the big building. It's just a visual masterpiece. Can I say that? There we go.
It is. It's a visual masterpiece, and I too love that. Plenty of times I've gone in and just walked in the front door, stood at the railing before the grand staircase, as we will call it, and just looked around. We've talked about this on the show. The Mexico Pavilion is the site of one of the funniest things that's happened on our trip. The time we were all there just hanging out, I think we were waiting for the girls to go to the bathroom, and I just happened to be standing by the stand that sold ponchos, and more than one person came up and asked how much they were because they assumed that I work there. So
I'm laughing with you.
I do love the aesthetic of it, but the thing I love the most at the Mexico Pavilion, a lot of people don't even go in the Mexico Pavilion because they're going to go to the margarita stand, chose the margarita outside. Now that's good. That is a great margarita, and there's a lot of flavors. There's a lot of variety, but you got to go inside. And when you go inside the pyramid, as we say, go in the right side, go down the right ramp / staircase, take a right, go to La Cava del Tequila. Go to the tequila bar. That's the best place. There's an awesome tequila flight in there. There's always a crazy line to get in. So
inside and out, doesn't matter.
Yes, try to go early. But check out La Cava del Tequila, because that's an experience that you're not going to have anywhere else at Epcot in any of the other countries in the World Showcase. It's a very unique experience with a very unique options drink wise. So I mean, you can look at me and tell I love to eat and drink. So I'm going to choose my favorite thing, Mexico Pavilion, La Cava del Tequila.
Nice. I mean, we would be silly to not mention the great hidden attraction off to the left, which is the Three Caballeros ride. It is a do not miss. Almost never is there a wait. Almost never.
No.
If you go during peak times, there's about, I think the longest I've ever seen it was like 20-minute wait. But I love it. If you love Donald Duck, and it's just cleverly done. There's a little bit of small world feel through part of it. It's a fun, to me, it's a don't miss attraction, mostly because it's the first one you get to and there's hardly ever a line. So there you go. Substitute that for Frozen. Your kids will never know. They'll never know.
Just tell your kids it's Frozen. They'll never have any idea.
That's right. All right. Is that it for Mexico, or do we want to talk about food?
Yeah. I mean, the two restaurants in Mexico are great. The sit down ones, it depends on what you want your view to be. So the one in the actual Mexico Pavilion is great. You have a table that overlooks the inside with another pyramid in the background. The Three Caballeros ride boats go past you while you're eating. It's great. The ambiance is awesome. It's nice and dark in there. It feels like it feels intimate, but it's wide open. So it's super cool. And then the other one outside on the World Showcase Lagoon is a great spot to watch fireworks if you can time it correctly. It's also the home, I've heard, of one of the best steaks on property.
Okay. Is that the indoor or is it outdoor?
I think it's indoor with a balcony.
The outdoor one is a quick service. That's the one I've eaten.
The outdoor one's a quick service.
Yeah, you can just get like
also
tacos and
it's also very good.
Mm-hmm. You can get tacos and what all is out there?
Beer and tacos. I think they have nachos. It's just it's always crowded. There's always a line to get in. But if you can snag a table, I remember one time we were there. This was back when Illuminations was still going on, but we got there maybe like 3:00 in the afternoon, and we sat there until Illuminations at like 9:00 at night. People tried to chase us out. I walked all the way to the United Kingdom and got fish and chips and brought them back. So we were like, we're going to sit here. We're going to have a front row seat to Illuminations. So
commitment.
If you're committed, you can get a great view of the fireworks from there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because if you go for dinner, even at like 5 or 6 o'clock, there's already going to be people parked there. Because some of them go clearly at 3:00 in the afternoon. So yes, it's called La Quintana de San Hengel. I don't even know why I pronounced that. Tried.
That was amazing pronunciation.
So it has tacos, churros, tostados, Mexican beer, and margaritas in the outdoor cafe, which it has a cool. I would say that is even a better spot than the sit-down restaurant for fireworks because it kind of jets out.
It does,
right? So yeah.
If you can get up towards the front, yes. If you're stuck in the back, then you're better off.
Yeah, you won't be able to see over over the roof of the whatever it's called. Okay.
Yes.
Shall we move on to Norway?
to Norway.
Yeah.
Norway. I like Norway.
I do too.
We all know my feelings about the ride in Norway, but I like the area in Norway.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite thing in Norway, and I don't even know what the actual, let me look it up here because I'm going to butcher it. It is the bakery in Norway. It is the Kringle Bakery Og Cafe. And it is amazing. Now, there's a little secret in this bakery. So when you're drinking around the world, you get to Norway and you're like, there's not really a place to grab any kind of alcoholic beverage aside from the little cart that's outside before you go into Anna and Elsa's village. There's just a little cart there, has maybe one beer and one frozen drink. But if you go to the cafe, you can get something called Viking Coffee, and that has real liquor in it. So and they also have great treats, breads and sweets and brownies and cupcakes.
Dang. But
go there for the Viking Coffee because I promise you will not be disappointed.
Wow. I have not been in that cafe.
It's a great cafe. It's got such good desserts.
Dang. Okay. So I would be remiss not to mention that Norway used to house one of my favorite attractions in, like, at least top 2 in Epcot. And that was almost said the Matterhorn. Negative.
Wow. Wait a minute. The Matterhorn was in Norway?
Nope. So let's go with Maelstrom because that's the actual name of the ride. So we can't talk about that because it's been replaced with something that I clearly need to still let it go. You're welcome for the dad joke. So my favorite thing about that is honestly, it's tied to if you will let me Pixar here for a moment, a core memory. And that is I'm just carry on with these great names. Akershus. So
yes.
We got to do a character meal with me and my daughter and you and your wife. And so that was super like the food was kind of but I don't know what it's like now. I don't know if it's a buffet still, but it was a buffet when we went, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's probably family style now. If it's open, I don't even know that it's open yet again.
But it was great. All the princesses, all of them came to your table. And if I remember correctly, it would have been Cinderella, Snow White, and Ariel, and the pink one, and Belle.
Aurora.
Yeah, there it is. The pink one.
And then I think you got to go when you walked into the restaurant, you stopped in the vestibule, if you will, and you got to take a picture with Belle.
Yes.
Because
she's
so that's really the like when that's open and going, that's like the most bang for your buck. Princess wise, right?
For sure.
If you want your kids to see all the princesses, take pictures because they come around to each table, sign books, take pictures. That best bang for your buck, see all the princesses.
It was affordable-ish. I think we went for lunch. That's one thing that made the lunch fare, I think, is priced probably like $6 cheaper. But it was cool. And I think that was just because, my daughter at that time was enamored with princesses and you guys were there. So it's a nice core memory. But like in normal times, it's a great place to get all the princesses in one shot. Because I think you can do it or could do it in the castle, right? But that is a Cinderella's Royal Table. But that is at least in past, has been quite the difficult reservation to get.
Yeah, that's a hard one to get.
Yeah, where this was much easier and you still got them all. And I would say the food is about on par. Both of them are kind of food wise.
Yeah. And that's a trick. If you're having difficulty getting in there, try lunch. Don't worry about going at dinner time. You have the same experience. The food may be a little bit different, but try lunch. It's much easier to get and you still get to see all the same princesses.
Yep, for sure. Okay. For sure. China. I feel like they pronounce it that somewhere.
Admit, I have not explored very much of China. This is one that you may be able to talk about a little more than me.
Well, I can give you two things. One of them is a temporary exhibit, but that's okay. But the other one is the big round rotunda that, like, obviously when you jet past Norway and you see like the China Pavilion. You can't miss it. One of the best pictures that I've ever taken at Disney, and this is going to be weird for some people, but when you go in that, it's just a big, giant open room. And if you look straight up, the ceiling is absurdly detailed and like with the light coming through it from the, like, it's just rad. And so I literally stood in the middle of the room and took a picture straight up in the air. And it's one of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken at Disney, just because it was so like unique and different. It felt literally like I traveled to another country and here's like these cool pictures. It wasn't like look at all the fun Disney pictures I got. So there's that. And then the other thing is the temporaries where you go in and wait for the Circle Vision movie just off to the left. And I'm sure it won't be there forever, but there is a full room dedicated to the opening of the Disneyland Shanghai Resort, which is really cool. They have, like in cases, they have stuff of like what some of the cast members' costumes look like. They have some opening day stuff. They have just all of these pictures and a map, like a giant full-size map of the resort and stuff. It's just kind of cool, right? Because I don't know that I'll ever get to be there. And obviously that ties closely to China. So yeah, that was a pretty cool room. I think I did an Experience Disney recording. I just haven't uploaded. I probably need to read.
Yeah, and nice. And one thing I have experienced in the China Pavilion, and that area is super cool because, like you, it's very unlikely that we will get to see Shanghai. So
right, yeah,
that's cool to see, what's going on half a world away. But if you've never been there, and the one thing I did experience in there is the Reflections of China movie.
I've never seen it.
It is a Circle Vision, much like Canada movie, but the scenery is amazing. People don't realize that China is beautiful. Like the countryside of China is awesome. So there is the movie, and it's super short. I think it's like 12, 15 minutes long, something like that. So it's not unbearably long where you're going to get tired of standing. But it just takes you through kind of the history and the scenery of China. And then you can come out and there's kind of a museum with Chinese artifacts that are super cool to look at. So I have experienced that part of the China Pavilion. I don't do it often, but when I do, it's very, very cool. So make sure if you've never been there that you experience the Circle Vision in China and check out the museum, and definitely check out the Shanghai exhibit while it's still there.
That's cool. They just had their 50th anniversary, which is funny, but I get it. You think it's easy to change that stuff over, but I imagine that's several $1,000s to like figure out what comes out of there and what goes in next. And it's a fairly large space. So yeah, it's a lot to fill up.
Yeah.
Good one. Okay.
It's a good one. So we move out of China and we are going across the bridge where they used to bring the giant globe out every day. And we pass the African outpost. Not so much to do there.
Just get some Coke.
We'll skip over that. Get a hot dog and some Coke.
I should probably say Coca-Cola, not Coke.
Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Get some Coca-Cola and walk past it very quickly because they brought the drums back. So there's always children
boom, 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 boom,
banging on the drums incessantly. So walk past there quick. But the next country we get to is Germany. Man, I think it's one of my favorite countries in the world.
Really? I didn't know that.
I think it is. And it's not huge. Like there's not a huge amount of stuff to do there.
It's a giant U-turn.
It is a giant U-turn. It should be at Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
But because it's a U-turn. But I just love that pavilion. I love the how it's modeled.
Yeah.
You really feel like you're in Germany once you step into that courtyard. Sure. It's just you're there. And the thing I love the most, go into the very first store, take a left. It is the Werther's popcorn shop. It's amazing. Like you smell it. Once you leave the African outpost and you walk down the hill a little bit, you smell the Werther's popcorn. So go in there, get yourself a bag. When the dining plan is around, I believe it's a snack credit. So hopefully that will come back. So you can take advantage of that snack credit. But go in the Werther's popcorn shop. It's delicious. There's all sorts of other candy and caramels and all sorts of stuff in there. But make sure you get yourself some Werther's popcorn.
Yeah. So I was going to actually say that, not because I've had it.
I'm sorry.
Not because I've had it,
Sorry.
but because Matthew literally flips out about the Werther's popcorn. Like, I mean,
so good.
His parents will go and he'll say, like, they have to bring it home. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
So now you would think that I would go and experience this because caramel is by far my favorite topping, candy, flavor. You know, I'm not a big chocolate guy, but I love caramel. You can put it on anything and I will be like, it's instantly better. But I will have to say I'm with you, and I wish I'd have eaten at the beer garden. I bet that's good food. So that I want to experience. But yeah, the theming there is fantastic. I love the shop where you can go in and see all of the, what do they call it? Steins.
Beer steins,
the beer steins are really cool. And as somebody, it is my wife's most favorite country in the world. She went twice growing up, and I was very fortunate through work to experience. We got to go there for 10 days, and it is, until I went to France, it was the coolest place I'd ever been to, Germany. But once I went to France, Paris kind of took that over. Paris is amazing. Yeah. But yeah, it is designed to a T. I mean, it's unmistakable, that Bavarian charm, and it's really cool. But yeah, there's not a lot going on in Germany, but it sure is ornate to look at for sure.
It is. It is. Now, if you do like the wine, and there's a lot of people out there that like the wine.
Yeah,
there's a great wine shop. So if you go into Germany, and I think it's Germany, Italy, France, you can do a thing called the Wine Walk. So you can sign up for it anywhere. Since we're at Germany, I'll just say you can sign up. Go to the back left corner. That's where the wine shop is. They have hundreds of bottles of wines in there. You can do the wine walk. And what they do is at those 3 locations, they give you 3 tastings of wine. And they give you a little glass. I think it's like $25 a person. And it's kind of something fun to do while you walk around the World Showcase. So if you've never been back to that wine shop and you've never done the wine walk, check it out. It's a fun little afternoon.
That's brilliant. Okay, I think we move on to Italia.
My second favorite pavilion.
Oh, wow. And like, to me, here's what's funny. Now that we say that. Having gone to Italy, where most of the stuff obviously featured here, like, is in there. Like, you've got the Rialto Bridge and St. Mark's Square, and I forget the thing that's right up front. I forget that. I can't remember the white thing with the. I can't remember what it's called.
The white thing with the stuff.
Yeah, I thought it's so small scale that it looks carnival-y. I'm sorry.
Well, you're allowed to have a different opinion.
But it is 83 feet tall, the St. Mark's. That's pretty tall.
It is pretty tall.
Yeah, my favorite thing about that. I mean, I'm just going to have to go. I'd never experienced Via Napoli until I went with you guys a couple years ago. And then we went back there for dinner on the 50th. And that was great. Like, it's always great service. It's quick, but they're not trying to get you out of there, if that makes sense. Meaning, like, we were kind of on a time crunch and our food was really, really fast. But it wasn't like, hey, here's your food. Okay, do you want your check? Like, there was never that sense. So I like that it's a quick sit down if you want that, but they're also not trying to rush you out of there. I don't know if that's a really good, but yeah, Via Napoli, it's great pizza. Their Caesar salad is amazing. Like, was it like a Caesar for 2? Is that what it was? Or is it just big enough for 2?
Yeah, it's just a big, it's a big Caesar. It's meant to be shared. Most things in Italy, I think it's family style. So it's meant to be shared. But yeah, I mean, we love that place. We don't go to it as often as we used to. Mm-hmm. Like, every time we went to Epcot, we were like, we have to try to get a reservation for Via Napoli. Like, if somebody came into town, we were like, we have to take them to Via Napoli. But we've kind of gone away from there, and it was nice to go back when we went for the 50th to experience that, because with the park closure and all of that stuff, it had been a pretty long time since we'd been there, so it was super good. And I like the Italy pavilion less for the food, surprising. and more for the walking around. I just like to walk around in the little shops on the left, although I never buy anything. I would never buy anything in any of those shops. That one to me feels like a store in Italy. The other stuff like in Germany, I love the architecture, but the stores feel like they're stores in an amusement park. Whereas the ones in Italy feel like they're actually in Italy, like the ornateness of the masks and the things that they have in the store makes you feel like you're there. So that's why I like the Italy Pavilion. It's kind of like that take you out of reality kind of thing.
I should regress. So one of the things that I like about Italy is you've got the whole pavilion back there, and it's fairly open. But if you head toward the lagoon, there's also still some theming right there, so much so that they have like a gondola kind of out there in the water. It's not anything that anybody gets on and rides, but the theming does continue kind of across the World Showcase walkway over into the lagoon. And I like how they carried that over there because there's some nice places to stop and watch, the nighttime spectaculars or just look at the fountains during the day. It's kind of nice over there. And matter of fact, I think sometimes they close that off for parties and stuff as well. I feel like it's a big enough area to do that. So yeah. And I really like, usually during the holidays, and obviously the pandemic put a damper on it this last year and this year, but in each of the countries we've talked about so far, there's like their holiday tradition. So they do a show with their specific holiday tradition. And the Italy one is really interesting. It's about like a witch. So it's very interesting. So if you get there during the holiday celebration, we all know at Disney holidays last for 4 months at a time. Almost as long as the 50th.
Almost as long as the 50th and the festivals.
Yes.
But check out the Italy one if you can get there when they have those performers back. I forget what the name of the witch is, but it is the craziest story, and that's like their holiday tradition in Italy instead of Santa. It's very weird, but it's awesome.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
Next, we have United States. Pass. Okay, what's after that? So, I'll let you go first. You go first with U.S.
Yeah, the U.S., I've never seen the show in there, surprisingly. The American Adventure, I think it's called. Every time we go, like American Experience, every time we go, we have great intentions of like, we're going to see it this time. And then we go in the building. There's like a 25-minute wait until it starts again. We sit down for a little bit. And then like 5 minutes before it starts, we're like, we're leaving. Like, we don't want to wait for this. So I've never seen it. That's my goal this fall. I'm going to see the American Experience. But what I love.
I was wrong.
Is the voice.
You were correct. I'm an idiot. It's the American Adventure.
It's the Adventure. All right, man, I got something right.
Just pretend.
What
I'm
I
not
love
here.
at the American Pavilion, I just like the fact that they have outdoor seating and whatever's going on at the Garden Theater right across the way. You don't have to go to the show.
Yep.
You can just have a beverage, grab something to eat at the barbecue place, sit out there, listen to whatever music is over there. So it's always kind of like a party atmosphere. They have like an 80s cover band and things like that, British Invasion, and people are just hanging out singing. It's like a big karaoke fest. Yeah. So that's usually what we do at the American Pavilion.
Yeah. So I'm going to go right inside of that, or right alongside that as well. And so one of the great things about the American Pavilion is that the theater is right across from there. And so what's been cool, like now that holidays have started, I'm not sure how things have transitioned, but one of the things that was cool about, this sounds awful, but one of the cool things that happened because of COVID is like they were allowing groups to still come, because that was a big stage and lots of seating where people could be plenty far away from each other. There was all kinds of things that were happening there, right? So the Voices of Liberty were performing there. Then also the band from Mexico, like I don't know what that's called, the mariachi band from Mexico, which is really cool because they do at least a couple of songs from Coco. And so it's like, it's like a party. And then different things. So that's what I like, that it was kind of like your one-stop shop to see a lot of the musical Epcot entertainment. I think things, at least after, because I know at least Florida has just dropped, or Orlando has just dropped from the CDC just released a new update. Not that anything has changed at Disney World, but it went down a level as far as wearing masks indoors. But again, I do not believe Disney has changed their stance of where they're at on that as of now.
They have not.
But like I imagine, like I kind of liked that it was kind of like you just sit there for an hour and you see a couple of groups. Where before it was kind of like, oh, if you wanted to see British Invasion, you had to go to UK and then the Canada band. Like, so it was kind of cool to get a one-stop shop. But that was not my favorite thing. So my favorite thing, believe it or not, is for us to be the host nation in World Showcase. The restaurant prior to what it is now, atrocious, doesn't even describe that place. It was awful.
That is 100% correct.
Awful. Now, I will say the barbecue joint now, really good. Really good. And fun fact in the summertime, if you eat indoors there, they have it's a refill your own drink station. So that's always a bonus, I think, to be able to walk right up and get a refill. But yes, for sure. I think the highlight for me is the Voices of Liberty. I know they're not always around, but especially when they can do it in the rotunda. Is that what the building is called? Just the acoustics in there are absurdly amazing. They're a do not miss if you can catch them. But they don't it's only a few shows a day and they'll do 2 songs maybe?
Yeah. It's really short.
But they're talented.
Whenever they do it, I'm always like, is that all they always do?
You just got warmed up.
Yeah, is that okay, I guess we're done. And so it's very random times too. It could change throughout the week. So if you go one day and you're like, oh, we're here at 12:15, and you go in there and there's not a soul. Yeah. So I love the Voices of Liberty. It's cool to see them on the garden stage, and they actually sang other stuff.
Yes,
which was kind of cool. They didn't stick to their normal stuff that they sing in the rotunda, so it was kind of cool to see them branch out and sing like popular songs and things like that. Yep. So that was super fun. And then I'm super glad that this year the Candlelight Processional is back.
Yes, that's a great use of that theater.
I don't know that we're going to be able to go just because we go because they have dinner packages. So you get a restaurant on property, and then that guarantees you a seat at one of the shows later that night. This year, they only did 4 restaurants. So it sold out in about 2.5 minutes. Yeah. So your only other option is to try to get there super early, stand in line, get in with the standby, or stand back on the sidewalk or across at the American Pavilion and just listen. So I'm super glad it's back this year.
Yes, for sure.
I think the girl who played Moana is the first narrator.
Neil Patrick Harris has to be coming back. He's got to be.
Neil Patrick Harris is not there this year. No.
Dang.
No Neil.
He's a
I think
big
they got
fan
Pat
of that.
Sajak.
Oh, fun.
They got Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Oh, nice.
And a couple of other people. So yeah, it'll be fun. It's everyone loves that. Like that's huge cool. Down here at this time of year. So they start the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
There we go. It's on the way.
There we go.
If you're coming for the holidays, it's a don't miss. If you want to stand and stand by, it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Japan.
All right.
Japan. Mine is super easy for this. So mine is and it's kind of, I guess you would call it, if you really went to Japan, this would be a super touristy thing to do, but it was really fun and really unique. And that is the Pearl thing.
Yes.
So we got to do that with Makaya, and we were fortunate enough that apparently we got a silver one or a white one, and those are those are only 5% of those. It's probably made up. It's probably like every other one. But anyway, it was really cool to get that. And so we had it set in like a little pendant and put it in a necklace for her. But that was just cool because it kind of felt like this so unique. And it's like, it's the unknown, right? Like, they're opening it up and you're like, there it is. Like, so that's a really, really cool thing. And the quick service there is delectable. The one that's little outside, on this. Oh, yeah. Great.
Oh,
food.
I love that place. I love great that food. Place. And it's got great food. Yes. You go outside the restaurant and back is trees. There's umbrellas. It's like a cool getaway place to eat your lunch and catch some shade in the middle of the summertime.
There's a bubbling brook. It's fantastic.
There is a bubbling brook. Bubbling brook. Last time we were there, last time I ate there, I witnessed a lady. She tried to sit on the stool, or what she thought was the stool, but it was actually a bush.
Oh dear.
And she almost fell in the bubbling brook. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I still feel horrible about laughing at it, but it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Where the bubbling brook goes down to a little pond that's closer to the walkway, and there's huge koi fish in there, like massive.
There is huge fish.
Yeah.
Huge fish. The thing I like, and something that is super popular in the Japan Pavilion, if you love, what's that called? Teppanyaki, teppanyado, tempura grill. Right in front of you.
Hibachi.
The Japanese chef comes.
I call it hibachi.
That's the name. I haven't even been drinking. Hibachi grill. So they have Teppanado, the restaurant, which is super popular. Don't miss it. You've been to these places all over the world, probably in the state that you live in. But the one at Disney's awesome. They make Disney characters with the vegetables and sing Disney songs, and it's super fun. So don't miss the hibachi there. But I think I've eaten there once, and it was awesome.
Oh, dude. You have convinced me that the next time I'm there, we need to go. That just sounds dope.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And, people sing and clap, and it's just a good time. So that would be my pick for Japan. Okay. And they also just brought the drummer ladies back.
Yes.
Which is, don't miss that show, because they are super, super talented people.
That was one of the major things that went away it was actually before the pandemic that I was like, that sucks. They were just cool. Yeah. They were just cool to walk by and like hear that. It was, and you stop for a couple of minutes and keep going, but it was always something we stopped and appreciated, just the talent of those. That one drum is like the size of a car. It's and
the
cool.
lady who's playing with the giant stick, she's like 3.5 feet tall, and she's just like, just
they
keeping that beat.
Tiny,
keeping that beat. But don't miss the drum show if you can catch it.
All right, man. Morocco,
dude, I love this pavilion. Like, there's not really anything to do there.
It's cool to get lost back there for sure.
It is cool to get lost. I love just wandering around Morocco, because you don't realize you can go in a big circle. It just feels like you're never going to get out of there. Yep. But you go into a room with like fezzes, and then you go into a room with like dresses, and then all of a sudden you're by a fountain. But not many people go back there. So. Yeah. Because you have the restaurant up front, and then you have the restaurant on the water, and that's where most of the people spend their time. Right. But next time you're there, wander around Morocco, man. There's like a bathhouse in there.
Yes,
and there's all sorts of crazy stuff in there that if you didn't go back past the fountain, you would never see.
And it's what's also cool about going back, it doesn't really dead end. Like you can wander back there, and and it kind of takes you this way, and you kind of turn right, and then and then there's like a little shop that you go through, and you're like, oh, I'm right back to where like I started on this little path. So that's kind of nice that it's not like, okay, we've seen everything here, and you kind of have to turn around and come back out. So I thought that was pretty cool. And also, it's worth saying, I do know that the one thing, we used to be like hidden Mickey freaks, and so back there, there's outside the wall of the gift shop, there are 3, I guess, baskets, flower baskets or whatever. And the 3 baskets are in a shape of a Mickey. So when you wander back there, outside the gift shop, look for the 3 baskets, you'll find a hidden Mickey.
Nice. Yes. And during character meet and greets, when they were going on, this is where you normally would find Jasmine. In one of the shops, there would be a photo opportunity with Jasmine. So hopefully that comes back. But don't, if you want to get away from the crowd, like if it's a crowded day at Epcot and you're wandering around kind of in the back, go back in there because nobody goes there. Now that they've taken away the fireplace, as we should say, and turned it into a door. It's not a tourist destination any longer. So wander back there. It's usually not crowded. You can get away from the crowds. There's some shade. Go inside, a little bit of AC. It's a cool place to go.
It is sweet. 'Tis sweet.
'Tis indeed.
Morocco. They also,
Morocco,
if you're looking for a quick kids meal, they have Americanized food in there for your kids. I found that one time when my daughter was starving. I was like, "There's nothing over here. Like, she's not going to eat Japanese. America's too far to walk. Okay, what do they got in here? Oh, chicken fingers. Great."
I mean, they serve those in Morocco, I think.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, we're getting to some biggies now. Francais.
Yeah, so now we've left Morocco and we've hopped a plane to France.
Great country. Vive la France.
Vive la France. Now there's obviously a new ride in France now.
A new area.
That is impossible to get on. Yes. Now that they have a lightning lane that you can purchase and a virtual queue that you have to kill people to get into. It's pretty hard to get in there now. And it's not, we've talked about this. It's a cute ride, but don't let the fact that you won't be able to get on that ride ruin your day at Epcot, and don't let it ruin your day in France. There's plenty of other things to do in the France Pavilion.
Yeah. I think it's worth it. We didn't eat there, but I would love to do some crepes at La Creperie de Paris.
La Creperie.
Yeah. So I'd be excited to check that out. I wish that we went because it was literally the day we were there. It was like the second day it was open. So I'm sure the line was insane. So my favorite thing about France is by far the sweet shop there. Oh my gosh. They got some desserts
back there in the back.
Yes. You got to walk back there, but it's worth the walk. Worth the walk.
It's good. And it's hidden. So for those of you who haven't been there or don't know, when you walk into the France Pavilion, you're going to go past Le Chef de France. When you get back where the road takes a left, take a left. That's going to take you by the ice cream shop. Right. And then walk as far back as you can. Go in the building, and then the sweet shop will be there. It's super crowded. There's not a lot of places to sit in there. There is a bathroom in there that is usually not super crowded because it's kind of a one staller. So people don't wait in line for it very often because it would take forever. So if you can get a table in there, it's a cool place to hang out. I
mean, the ice cream shop is no joke, but it's
the ice cream shop is very good.
It's nothing compared
but the sweet shop definitely better. I agree. It's
heaven. All right, man. I think that's France. Oh, wait. So go ahead.
That's France. No, I was just going to say we ate for Krista's birthday. We actually ate at Le Chef de France, the restaurant, and I have to say, aside from the service, it was kind of our fault, kind of their fault. Yes, we both contributed, is what I'm trying to say. We had our preview for Ratatouille, so our reservation was at 9, I think, and they closed at 10. So we were on the Ratatouille ride till maybe 9:20.
Okay.
So we got there maybe at 9:25, and we were like, "Hey, we had a reservation at 9:00," and they gave us the French look, and they were like not happy about the fact that we were trying to sit down half an hour before they closed. But they sat us, and the guy who walked us to our table hands us the menu. When we sit down, he's like, "Just make sure you know what you want to order when the waiter comes." And we're like, okay, well, that's fun. But we ordered. The food was awesome. They have amazing French onion soup. The French onion soup there is super good. And the rest of the food was good as well. So I would imagine that had we not been rushed, like we would have been able to enjoy a wine and some scenery maybe up by the window. Again, there, if you can score a front table, there's windows there so you can see the fireworks.
That's cool.
But the food is really good. There's a price fix there, which is helpful for some people. But it's good food. So check out Le Chef de France.
I've never heard anything bad about that place other than Pierre, who doesn't like it when you come late. Sorry, Pierre.
Sorry, Pierre.
Okay, let's plow through these next two. It's gonna be hard. The UK. I have a couple, but I'll just do one. So one is I only really got to experience it like within the last few years, and that is if you wander all back through the streets of England, and over in the back off to the right, You can actually see, or actually, I think you have to go through the shops and then you exit out onto the street, but through the tea shop and all the way back there. Anyway, there's like a whole little room set up that's supposed to be Christopher Robin's room. And so I'd never experienced it. And we got to walk through and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And I think it was probably when the live action movie came out. It was in that time frame. So I think that's why I probably read about it just because it was in the, on the forefront of Disney people's mind because the movie had just come out. But yeah, that was really surreal to it was like those neat little Disney touches that you're just like, because again, I'm not one that often wanders back through there, especially because most of the times I've been over the last 10 years, it's with littles. And so they're not really interested in walking through a town. So the couple of times that I've been no kids is where I've been able to experience some of these unique and different things. So yeah, that Christopher Robin, that was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And it's kind of like a hidden secret now because you can see how it used to be a thing. Like it used to be a meet and greet where Pooh and Tigger were and things like that because they still have like the fast pass scanners there. But it's kind of like a hidden secret. So I love that. One of the other things I love in that area, obviously, is the Rose and Crown.
Yes.
But there's a place, I think it's called the Crown and the Crest. Now, we were there with our friends right before the shutdown, like February of 2020. And the kids were like, hey, you got to come with us. You got to come with us. There's this place in the United Kingdom that has swords. And we're like,
I'm sorry, what?
I've been in the United Kingdom in Epcot like hundreds of times. I've never seen swords. So basically, if you go across the street from the Rose and Crown, the first store you'll go in has like soccer jerseys and things like that.
Okay, yep. I know you're talking about.
If you walk through that room, all of a sudden you come into this hallway that has two glass cases on either side. There's like giant swords from like battles and things like that. And I had never seen that, never knew that they were there. The kids had to tell me that they were there. So go check out the swords. They're awesome.
Yeah, so
and you can buy them.
Game of Thrones.
Buy them.
It's like Game of Thrones up in the UK. Now, my second one
go ahead.
that I'll do that is more of a core memory because it's something we used to always do is we always would go to the outside quick service and grab the fish and chips because there's a small eating section that is almost right up against the water where we could experience oh gosh, my favorite. I almost called it interventions. I can't say
illuminations.
I cannot say anything at Epcot. I'm always going to call it something else. But yeah, for years that was my favorite show. It's still one of my favorite scores for sure. But now again, you can sit there and enjoy Harmonious, I guess, but that would not be an optimal place to see the Stargate. So yeah, I don't know that that's going to be a popular.
If you just wanted to listen to the music.
There you go.
And to see the fireworks, great spot.
And it is
you want to experience it fully? Not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And last but not least, because remember, kids, when you go to Epcot and you head to World Showcase, you turn left. Okay?
You turn left.
So last but not least, our brethren to the north, Canada. This holds a special place in our hearts as well. I'll let you go first.
Yeah. I mean, Canada... Again, not a huge amount to do there. They have the amazing popcorn. If you go to the cart, I think this one is maple popcorn. So make sure you grab yourself maple popcorn. Make sure you take your refillable buckets because to get that stuff refilled for like $1 or $1.75 or whatever it is now is worth every penny. So make sure you get that. And then I like the walking around the Canadian Pavilion. Like if you go back to the back where the waterfall is, like if you're just out on the main pathway, you have no idea that there's a waterfall back there. Yeah. You can take awesome pictures back there.
Incredible garden off to the side too.
Yeah. I mean, you just don't see that stuff if you hustle by Canada. And a lot of people do hustle by Canada because there's not a huge amount to do there. But I like the actual pavilion itself, walking through the garden, walking back by the waterfall, and just kind of taking in the whole area.
Yeah. It's cool back there. Yeah, it's themed cool. I don't know a lot about Canada, but it's not what I would have expected. Like, it was very Yukon-y, I guess.
Yukonish.
More than like, because I remember one time and we like made a little fun video for you and Krista went in and put on the like Elmer Fudd hats and I was like, really? That's Canada? Anyway, so I was like, are we profiling here? Because that's weird. No, okay, so mine is twofold, and this, I'm probably getting a lot of pushback from people. The first one is, and it's been years, folks. We're talking 2007, but the best steak I've ever had in my life was at Le Cellier. Now, I know I've read and heard that in recent years, the quality is not there. I don't know if it's the quality of the food or the service or both, but I'm telling, in 2007, which I know was 814 years ago, that was the best steak I'd ever had in my entire life. It was phenomenal. And then my second is more of a throwback because they have changed the film, but the OG Canada film was Steve Martin. Not Steve Martin. It's the other Steve. What is his name?
Martin Short.
Martin Short.
The other Steve. Martin Short.
Cheers, folks. Good to be here. Wow. Wow. Can we just take a moment for the other Steve? His name is Martin Short. At least his last name starts with the first name of Steve. Anyway, that song, like that old Circle Vision thing was awesome. But we would just, for years, we've always walked around like, Canada, my Canada. So, yeah. Apologize for the
beautiful.
Singing.
It was beautiful.
And that, my friends, is your trip around the World Showcase.
It is your trip around. Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize there was, when we started talking about it, there's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, there really is.
We don't do 3/4 of that stuff when we go.
And then for you 20 somethings, don't forget the drink around the world is a thing too, but
drinking around the world is, I tried that last time I was there and tried that was in April of this year. And we made it. We did Mexico, Norway, China.
It's a horrible
Germany,
place to start.
And America.
Wow.
And then
halfway.
I was done. I was done. I couldn't. I think then we had maybe some champagne in France, and I was like, I am going to fall in the lagoon. Like I can't do anymore. So hats off to you young people that are able to make it all the way around. I remember when I was your age and just wait for 15 years.
Yeah. That's
all I have to say.
I did. One of the times that I went, I did watch a group that I saw them at a couple of different places, and they were kind of smart. Like, and I'm sure they were following a plan, but it was like they would have a drink and and then like their alarms would go off when it was time. So they sat down, they talked, enjoyed. Like they all also had like a glass of water, and then typically they would have either like a snack or something. But I thought it seemed like it was, they weren't like, let's get inebriated. They really wanted to like enjoy the process of drinking around the world. Yeah. So I thought it was maturely and intelligently thought out. I'm sure it's just, they looked it up on the internet and it's probably like, how do you drink around the world and make it? It's probably what they,
that's probably correct.
But I was like, oh, it's interesting. Cause they were like, cause a couple times I saw them, they were sitting, like, I think the day was really hot. So it was a couple times I just sat in the shade and I was like, oh my God, I was like, there are those people again. And they were like,
there they are.
Okay, we got 5 minutes, guys. And I'm like, oh, dang, they've got this down to like literally some type of science. So there you go.
They got it.
Look it up online and find a way to make it if you're pushing 50, like some of us.
And if you've done it, just drop us a line, shoot us an email, send us a text, tell us how you did it. Tell us what your plan was. Tell us how old people can make it through.
Right. We need a 30-second video from every single country and just see, we'll compare the first one and the last one, see how it goes.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
But if it was been Brandon and I, would have been like, we forgot after America. I just forgot.
You get your Mexico video and then we'd film something in Canada and like we did everything.
That's right. We did it. I don't know what happened to the other videos. I forgot. We forgot to hit the record.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. There's your trip around the World Showcase with some of Dave and Brandon's fun things to do.
Yeah. And look at that. We did it under an hour again.
Oh yeah, we did. That's insane. Well done.
Insane.
Well join us next week for something we have no idea we're going to talk about until we talk about this week.
Correct.
We decide.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it might be good to catch up on a little bit of news. I feel like there's some things that have changed that are worthwhile, especially with the holidays.
Yeah, we'll bring you some news next week. I
did want to bring up. I thought it was kind of comical that it was either yesterday. Yes, yesterday or today. Chapek announced that he was not going to show up at D23 because he was scared he was going to get booed.
Well, I saw that.
I don't know if that's true, but it's funny.
The story was like Chapek removed from the D23 lineup because of that online petition that wants him to resign or be fired. Like Disney pays attention to that, but then like the way that Disney handled it made it seem like it was because of that. Like
weird.
Instead of just coming out and being like, Bob can do whatever he wants. He's the CEO and he had something else to do.
Right.
Like they got all shady about it. And then he released a statement that was even more shady. And
yeah, that was just weird.
It's just weird, but I found it comical.
But now I'm more inclined to go. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
I will say that, I'm still a little frustrated with the brass, and it's not just Chapek. It's not just, like, Josh Tomorrow is wearing on me a little bit. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, and I think it started with, and I don't mean, wow, we're tanking like negative here really quick. Wow. But I do want to say, I know we should have just quit it. All right. See you next week. Bye. I think that where it started for me was, again, like October 1st, 2021 was incredible. I'm still baffled at the lack of things that happened. Maybe that's just like all the brass was there. Like, why didn't they say anything? Why didn't they do anything? Why didn't they get on stage for 10 seconds before the stage show and say, I feel like this, like looking back, I'd be surprised if they weren't like, yeah, that was a missed opportunity. Like, I'll just say that.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree. And I always come back to like when the very merriest after hours party is better than your 50th anniversary celebration
or Disney Plus Day.
You missed an opportunity. Yeah. Disney Plus Day. Jeez.
Oh my gosh. I don't comment much on social media, but somebody was talking about, something like it was on the annual pass holders page on Facebook, and somebody was talking about something not even related. And I was like, am I the only one over here that's like, why is the Disney Plus Day getting more attention at the park than the 50th?
I mean, Disney Plus Day had free merchandise that they handed out to people.
What?
At multiple parks.
I mean, I will say
we got a commemorative map.
Oh, did y'all go?
No, I'm saying at the 50th anniversary, October 1st, we got a map. These people got hats, sunglasses, like all sorts of stuff.
I know, really?
I just don't understand.
Yeah, but that's okay. It doesn't mean, please don't, like, we obviously love Disney or we wouldn't be doing a show and running a network of shows. But yeah, there was just some bizarre decision making. And I'm sure it was like, I don't want to overlook that the pandemic certainly changed how that whole thing was approached. And just because things seem to have gotten better and opened up closer to the start of the 50th doesn't mean that, this stuff takes years of planning. So I get all that. But the one question that I have, I'm just going to say this, I'm just going to throw it out there and we'll just leave on this note. Josh, the railroad has been closed for 3 years. 3 years. I think we either need to reroute the track or figure it out, buddy. Like that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say
I agree.
That.
Or what I would do? So you don't even have to reroute the track. I would put locomotives on both ends of the train. I'd start it where it is right now. It would go around. It would go back by Frontierland. It would go all the way around to right before Tron, and then it would stop there and it would go back the other direction. It would
stop it like right outside of Goofy's roller coaster. Done. Yeah.
You don't have to reroute any track. You don't have to build any more track. You just have to add one more locomotive. That's all I would do.
So you got Steve the conductor, since Steve is a popular name tonight, and John's on the conductor on the other one. They just
Steve and John, or Steve and Martin.
Steve puts it in neutral. Martin takes it on back to the train station. It's fine.
There you go.
It's a great idea. Maybe they should just hire you, Brandon. You do live there.
I think they should hire me.
On that note, folks, glad you guys listened, but remember this podcast was for Joy L. Just saying.
Joy L
and her kin.
Wisconsin.
Yes. Okay, Brandon, it's up to you, man. I'm going to hold you accountable. You got to at least make an effort to meet Joy and her clan.
I'm going to do my best. I want a Mickey pretzel or a Mickey bar or a Mickey whatever. Something. So,
and she in our text feed, she did ask me, she was like, why don't you come too? And I haven't told her yet, but Joy, since you're listening, because the show is for you. I'll be there in February. So like my wife, it might end my marriage if I come in January and in February. I go a lot, but 2 months in a row would be.
Dave, you know what you could do for Joy L?
What's that?
Do one of those things where you leave in the morning and you fly back at night.
Done. Joy, if you buy the ticket, I'm in. I'm doing it.
There you go, Joy.
Because there is a pretty
Wisconsin.
There is a pretty early flight. Like when I'm coming in February, it's like a 6:30 flight.
Yeah,
and then
I can leave it back. When I came up for the Dave Matthews concert, I left at like 5:50. So you can do it. Joy L, balls in your court.
I love it. Let's make it happen, Joy. Okay, family.
Let's do it.
Until next week.
Everybody.
Thanks for hanging out.
Until next week.
Bicycle.